And there we go. We are live yet again. You gotta.
It seems. Oh, did I just do that?
It's all
Let's
right.
not do that. Yeah, there we go.
That's how we started off.
That's how we started off.
A minor technical glitch. Yes. Yeah. And we're back after what feels like a month-long hiatus, even though it was only 1 week. We are back, and we're happy to be with everybody. And this is Tuesday Night Dreaming, and so my dad successfully returned from Florida.
I have.
Although it depends on what you would call a successful trip to Florida.
Well, it was partially successful.
Yeah, partially successful. Yeah, that's right. So
I got there. I got back.
You got there. You got back. That's right.
I did research in the area, and so yes, it was very helpful.
Yeah, it was a good trip. He went to Florida. I mean, come on, guys. That's just going to Florida is a successful trip.
It's true. That's what I think.
That's here on the east coast of Canada. Florida is the favorite. When there's a few feet of snow staring out at you, people tend to head south. So that happens quite often. So Sarah says she hears the housing market is insane in Florida. I'm assuming you're talking about Florida.
It is pretty crazy, actually.
It is crazy. However, when you compare it to California, it's the housing market is not just insane in California, it's completely mismanaged and bonkers.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's a scary thing in
Florida. You mean 5 feet of snow. It could be more than 5 feet. That's true. Florida, you were in Pensacola, right? That's the area you were in?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, by the way, take a second and like the video and share the video. I totally forgot to do that. We're feel like we're newbies doing this.
I'm working on sharing. That's why.
You share that. You do the thing that you need to do. I'll do the thing I need to do. And I noticed in the amount of comments of the people that posted dreams that you guys must have missed us.
Okay.
I think you guys must have missed us. So, and we appreciate that, Berta, that you shared that. So everybody that's not Berta, get to sharing. And we've got some dreams to interpret. So for everybody that's on, comment if you have a question too. We like answering questions as well. So missed last week. We missed you guys. It's true. We missed. Well, I missed you guys. I don't know if my dad in Florida missed you guys. That's Renee. A very boring evening last week. Well, I try and make multiple things. I mean, I've got the thing with the Remnant Radio guys too. So there's only so much I can do to entertain you, Renee. Although I did see your comments coming up on the live feed today with the Remnant Radio guys. So that was a fun.
Oh, I didn't realize I left papers and tables up here.
Yeah, well, just don't show everybody the rest of your office.
No, the rest of my office looks awesome. Yeah. I remodeled it.
Yeah, Sarah, I did get rest. I did. Yeah, I definitely got rest.
Yeah,
it was good today. It was. Right. Dad, we were talking about how Augustine and Anthony. So Augustine, both of them the greats. Augustine the Great and Anthony the Great. How they approached the issue of dreams and visions. So it's quite pertinent, to what we're doing here. And we didn't necessarily get into the nitty gritty of how they may have interpreted something, although you don't find a lot of, you see people interpreting parables, visions, dreams. They definitely find insight into the imagery in there.
Yeah.
But they don't necessarily say this is how I came about to the insight. So anyway.
Yeah.
The Berta says your office looks good. You can only see part of it, Berta. So
it's all good though.
Okay. Well, I used to work in that office.
My books are all in boxes.
Oh yeah, there you go. Hey Allison, good to see you. Great to see. I'm guessing that's Elena and Jody, New Orleans. So wonderful to see everybody. Right. Okay. If you have your dreams, comment them. Let's make it shorter dreams. We've got dreams from, if you commented them on the Facebook share that went out earlier, we definitely have those, so you don't have to re-comment those, although you can if you want, no harm, no foul. But if you have questions, comment those. If you have a dream, comment those, and we generally relegate that to shorter dreams, given the time that we're going to take. So let's get started with a question by Christy Harvey.
Yes.
Okay.
Let us do that. So Christy has.
You're the reader. I mean, that's how this goes, right?
All right. So
it's only been 1 week.
I moved myself all around. I messed myself up here. I'm on the wrong screen. Questions about predators and dreams is what Christy says. In other words, sharks, bears being present in your dream, not necessarily doing anything, but just there. How to pray in regards to seeing that in a dream.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a hard one to do without context, because animals can mean so many different things based on the characteristics of the animals. Obviously a shark, those are both predators, so we tend, as you have said, we would tend to see those in the negative, as the negative interpretive element. Sharks would rarely be a good thing. Mostly they would.
When a shark is in the water, so the difference would be between a bear and a shark.
Yes,
where you find them. And
exactly.
And it would have implications on because of those, because of that.
Yeah, and then you can have a polar bear, a grizzly bear, a black bear, a brown bear. So each particular bear could represent something.
Well, and you could have different kinds of sharks too.
And you can have different kinds of sharks. That's right. You could have a hammerhead shark, which could talk about being a situation with spiritual influence because it's in the water, right? Yeah. That is thick-headed, right? Because it's a hammerhead. Could be something like that.
A great white shark. That's a pretty big problem. Yeah.
Great white shark is a big problem. Maybe operating out of a religious spirit, because it's white. White. Yeah. So there's lots of different things that they can mean. As generally speaking, they would represent some kind of spiritual influence that impacts the people around, or the people that you're around, or the situations you find yourself in. And so in that sense, it's being aware of what's happening in the environment, the direct spiritual environment around you. And then knowing if it's a shark, then it's under the water. It's has more to do with something happening that pertains to the spiritual life of yourself, your community, the people around you, that kind of stuff, because it's in the water. And then not that a bear doesn't have to do with the spiritual life, but it doesn't necessarily emphasize it as so directly because it's not in the water. But a bear could be something that is a hibernating issue, because bears hibernate. They sleep.
What if it
for
was
a
a
long time.
skunk?
Well, a skunk would be another one. A skunk's a rodent. So a skunk, it's not a predator, but it is a rodent. And so a skunk would not we wouldn't look at that in the positive. But it would be
stinky,
something that, that's something that fouls up your ability to discern things. And because it fills pungent smell. It's the only thing you can smell. You can't tell any other smell out there. Yeah, something stinks around here. Exactly.
How about? And I'm just messing you up with this.
Okay.
How about an armadillo?
Well, you're just going on and on and on. Well, another one. It would represent something spiritual that creates a defensiveness.
Yeah.
Because the hard shell, right?
Yeah.
And so it's a spiritual influence that causes people to be defensive. And armor, exactly, Renee. Yeah. They're I think isn't there a place, am I thinking there's a place in Texas or down in the southern states called Armadillo? So it could be maybe a word play on the place that you live.
Why wouldn't you name something?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Well, let's start off with Sarah.
Yeah, hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully that's helpful, Christy.
Sarah Kakura, are you in? Yeah, there she is, right there. Yes.
Yeah. Pray, Christy. The last part about that is just pray pray about the spiritual influences that are affecting you and the people that you're around. You know, if in the dreams you have family members, be things that would impact your family. If it's church people, things that impact your local community. If it's people you work with, things that impact your local workplace, you know, that kind of stuff. So pay attention to who's in the dream, what sphere of life it may be pointing to, and then just ask God to reveal what spiritual influences are going on.
What if you were eating a taco and a shark asked you for a bite? What would that mean?
Don't ever give your taco up.
No.
Never. Finish your taco. You know, unless it's a bad taco, but those just don't tend to exist. So,
especially if it has guacamole in it.
Yeah. You know, if it's a nice taco al pastor,
yeah,
you know, or carne asada taco, you know, if we get some good stuff, then don't ever give that up.
No, you know, never to a shark.
Yeah.
Never to a shark.
Never to a shark. Yeah.
All right,
to an armadillo? No, still not. Yeah, it'd probably be hard pressed to get me to give my wife my taco. I mean, like,
I have seen you fight over a taco.
Yeah, I would fight over that. Yeah. They charge you.
Burrito.
Yes, Sarah, they charge you extra for guacamole. That's a bone of contention in our marriage. I'm from California, so give me the guacamole and give me the avocados. I don't care how much extra it costs. It needs to be there, right?
Yeah, put it on.
That Aaron does not necessarily share my sentiments. That's $3. Yeah, it's $3 of deliciousness. It's worth
exactly
it.
3 of the best dollars I ever spent.
Exactly. No sharing, period. Yes.
All right. Sarah says, I was walking toward my old apartment building. I could see both the buildings. I was talking to my mom how there was an old lady who lived there and had her mortgage paid, but somehow lost her apartment. Now we were living there. Then we talked about how the building manager can't manage the 2 buildings well. Each building needs their own, I'm assuming, manager. And we ate toast together that we made. Was there any guacamole on your toast? However, the apartment was at the back of the building. We never lived in the back of the building. And our number was 3, and we never had apartment 3.
So who's the we? Was it you and your mom?
She and her mom, yes.
Those are the ones you and your mom were living in. So is this, you know, the sadly no guacamole. Yeah, that's the question I have for this one. Was the we the mom, you and your mom, or you and your husband, you and your family, that kind of thing. And let's see. I'm just looking at this again. Each building needed their own. Right. The we is the mom. Her mom. The we living is the husband. I thought so. I thought that was the case. The we living is the husband and her 2 kids. Can you make the font a little bit bigger, Dad?
Yes, I can.
Just to clarify, I ask that almost every time that he does this. On our side of things, okay? On our side of things, I've got a little tiny corner of the window dedicated to the video. And so the font's super small because the video's so small. And it's not that I can't see.
What he's saying is anybody who would love to donate towards a larger monitor for Josh to hook to his laptop.
I don't need a larger monitor. It's fine. Yeah. Well, Dad, you start taking a crack at it. I'm still thinking about this.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't have anything to do with Florida, so I have to get back.
No, it doesn't have anything to do with Florida.
All right. She's walking towards her old apartment building, and she can see. So when you say both the buildings, I'm assuming there always were 2 buildings there, and now somehow they're connected by this manager who is not very competent in what he does. And you're talking to your mom about how somebody lost something that they should never have lost. Her mortgage was paid, but somehow someone unjustly was able to take away her apartment. This is what I'm getting out of your dream here. So there's an injustice in the first part of this dream, where there's a woman, an old lady who had lived there, lost and paid her mortgage, but lost her apartment nonetheless. So
Right.
And then the second thing, so we have a repeating theme here, if you think about it for a moment. We have an injustice. The woman lost her apartment. We have an incompetent manager, something that's not being done right. So nobody is getting what they really need. They're getting they're not being serviced well. The woman wasn't being serviced correctly. Something was stolen from her. The next people, their needs aren't being met because you have somebody who's not able to meet their needs. He's overwhelmed with what he does.
Was there only one apartment, one apartment living space in each building?
Oh, and it's okay. So you got the apartment that she lost. Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So there were other people that lived there and attempted to make, the place that you're occupying, other people have tried to make work, but they haven't been able to make work. And not through any fault of their own, but because of things that have been taken from them.
Right.
And it looks like, people were trying to make lots of apartments. Yeah. Someone was trying to make something work that just didn't work together. Yeah. And in one sense, you have been responsible, not responsible. You've been impacted by the inabilities, the inconsistency of how people manage things around you. And it's impacted you. Not so much in a super direct way. It's impacted the other people way more that have come before you. And I think Karen Galley had said, is the mom the Holy Spirit? I think, the mom probably is the Holy Spirit leading you, talking to you, showing you where to go, that kind of stuff.
Listening to the things that you're doing.
So the place that you occupied, the place that you've come to live has mistreated people in the past. And it's been mismanaged, it's been poorly managed, and there hasn't been good oversight. And the recognition of that is coming now.
So why would she be in the back apartment number 3 now? She doesn't seem to be affected at this moment by it, but it is.
No, I think revealing of past people experiences, and because she's living, like 3 being the number of the Trinity, the triune Godhead. Right. And so she's living in the place that God has her. So it's not impacting her. It's in the back because she's in a place of being hidden, not as seen as others. So I think you guys have probably had to step around a lot of you because it's in the dream, it's your family. You guys have had to step around a lot of divisive situations, and God's kept you safe. That have been divisive because they haven't been managed well. And
so I noticed that you didn't say about this that the so when we have apartments, everybody wants to say, oh well, temporary living arrangement, but you didn't go there. Because Why did you not go there? Because it would be helpful for people to understand that.
Well, an apartment is a temporary living area. It's not temporary in the sense that you only live there for a month or two. Yeah. An apartment is temporary in the sense that it's not the permanent. It's not necessarily. It's an apartment, so you're renting. You don't own. And it's
different than a hotel. Okay.
It's different than a hotel. Yeah. A hotel is you're going to stay there for a couple of days. Just to answer Karen's question there, could it be a reflecting back on these people's experiences? I don't know that it's a reflecting back. It's just showing you that there's been injustices with how other people have been treated in the place that you are. Yeah. And the place that you are isn't the final place you will be. That's why it's an apartment building.
Okay, there we go.
But it isn't an apartment building is not necessarily representative of a short-term assignment. It would be representative of something that would be a longer period of time you would be there.
Yeah, that's good.
So it's not, and Karen, I say it's not. It's illuminating what's happened to others and what's caused some of the dysfunction and friction in the surrounding environment, not so much in Sarah and the family. And so what I want, it's definitely about Sarah and her family. It's not about people's past experiences. It's about how things have impacted where they've the space they've come to occupy in their lives, and it could be indicative of the work that they're called to. I know Sarah and her husband are pastors, and so it could talk about some of the situations that have come before, and it could be in that sense. The eating toast, what was the part about eating toast?
Oh, no.
She's eating toast with her mom.
They were eating toast together, she said. Let me see. Oh, man.
Yeah, you can say that, Sarah. Like, just because someone gets a title doesn't, you can call anybody anything you want. Your husband is a pastor, but that doesn't make you not a pastor. I get denominational structures and all that kind of stuff. So, I understand that. I'm not going to say anything more. Cinnamon raisin toast. Yes, absolutely. Is that the kind of toast it was? Why didn't you say that in the first place? That does not want guacamole on it.
No, you wouldn't want to put guacamole on that. That would be a conflict of flavors on your tongue.
You ate toast together. Like your family ate toast together? You ate toast together with the building manager? You ate toast together with your mom? Who are you eating toast together with? And was it cinnamon raisin toast?
I'm getting hungry now.
It's 10:30 at night for me, so I don't have that problem. It's such a divisive flavor, and it was just you and your mom. Yeah. Well, I don't think it's well, do you like cinnamon raisin toast?
I guess that's a good question.
Yeah. I think she does, and she said cinnamon raisin toast. Yum. And my guess is going to be that you are sharing in sweet heavenly things. That's if your mom represents the Holy Spirit, which I believe your mom probably does. Yeah, there you go. See, so it's you're participating in the things that you love with the Holy Spirit. Yeah,
cream cheese. Okay,
but that is not a guacamole thing. You don't want to put avocado on cinnamon raisin toast. I mean, you could, I guess, but there's better things. Good sourdough.
It wouldn't. Yeah, it wouldn't be the best choice. Yeah. I've had.
Okay, enough about the toast.
Wow.
And the thing with the toast is it's not a really important element to the dream. It's got meaning. It's not that we're saying it doesn't have meaning.
But it's a tasty element to the dream.
It's just a tasty element to the dream. Yeah. It adds to this overall feeling of what the mom represents and what Sarah's entering into with the Holy Spirit. But
yeah, and it just kind of solidifies the view of it. This is a positive relationship.
Right.
Of connectivity and sharing. So
yeah.
So that's good. Is Lola available?
Lola, are you on? She was on. I thought I saw her comment earlier. Are you on here, Lola? Lola. Lola posted a dream. Maybe I didn't see her comment on here.
I have not seen her yet.
Okay, well let's if she comes on, we'll do it. If not, let's jump to another one.
All right. Well, we're gonna jump to another one then.
You do
all right,
that.
Chris
Rochette. Chris, are you here?
Tell me you're here, Chris.
If Chris is here, we'll do his.
You have won
Chris.
a big prize.
But as you know, the rules are always, if you post your dream in advance of the live stream, you've got to be here for us to interpret it. Because if you're not, then we will most likely have questions to clarify things. Yeah. Oh, Sarah says also, I'm fasting. So thinking of every, well, Sarah, you watched our live stream today where Matt was talking about Peter. I love how Peter has a trance when he's fasting around lunchtime. He has a trance, falls into a vision and sees a bunch of meat and he's told to eat it.
Yeah. Like, oh.
But I'm fasting.
You're messing up my fast.
Yeah.
Okay. So Manling.
I did see her earlier. Monling. Are you
Manling? Sorry.
Monling, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it, Monling. Are you still here? Yes, she definitely was earlier. I saw her comment. We know Renee's here, and Renee always posts a dream. There's Monling. Great.
All right, good. All right.
All right. All right. We got a candidate. No sugar. I'm seeing a lot of food in my dreams.
All right, I'll make it bigger.
There, that's good.
All right, so Manling says that she has no clue about this meaning except the bracelets. Especially jade bracelets, mean health and peace and away from the evil. I wonder if you could help me. Okay, so she's the dream. I'm at Seashore. I had 2 bracelets on my palm.
Well, before you say that, what makes you interpret bracelets? Because this is your dream, and so why do jade bracelets mean health and peace and staying away from evil in your dream vocabulary? What makes you come to that conclusion? Go ahead.
All right. So, sorry. I was at the seashore. I had 2 bracelets on my palm. One was made of jade in color in light greenish and white. Another was multicolor and very beautiful. I walked toward the island at the inland for a short while and decided to walk back. Then I was back to the seaside. Someone told me that she saw my bracelet, the beautiful one, somewhere. At the same time, I found I lost both of my bracelets, so I walked back and found my bracelets without any trouble. I put both bracelets on my left wrist and walked back to the seashore. I found that I walked into a huge hall on the sea. The hall was so crowded and people were waiting for the program to start. The seats were fully occupied except one on the first row on the left side behind the aisle. I know that was a seat reserved for me. The stair of the first row was pretty high. I had to push against the stair with my hands to get on the first row. I heard people cheering joyfully when I climbed on the first row.
Okay, so were they, Monly, questions? Were the people cheering for you when you climbed to the first row? And do you remember what the program was going to be? Was it, was there any clue as to what it was? Did it have something to do with Jesus? Did it have something to do with normal life? Was it like a movie, a music show? So what was the show? What was the show, and what were people cheering joyfully about? And so I mean, in the first part of the dream is just walking back and forth, right? Basically, and finding her bracelets.
Yeah.
I'll bring it back up.
I will. Give me a minute.
Okay. Is walking and losing the bracelets, then walking back and finding the bracelets. And so that's gives us some insight. And then Monling said that in Chinese culture, that's what those bracelets represent. You're going to get firsthand view, Monling. Yeah, that's true, because it's the first row. So whatever the program represents, that's very right, Renee. That the Monling is going to get an up close and personal look at what's being shown to her. And you've got, in a dream like this, you've got Monling going inland, coming back to the seashore, going inland, coming back to the seashore, walking. So the dream is talking about her journey.
Yeah.
And They were cheering for her because she was getting into the seat.
And there's things she loses and finds again important things to her.
Yeah, important things to her heritage.
Yes.
Important things to her culture. There in the journey, there's things in your culture and heritage that have been left behind that you've rediscovered. Especially the because I think it's the beautiful one, right? Yes.
Right.
There's one the beautiful one probably represents the redemptive element of what that jade bracelet represents in the Chinese culture. And because in the things our cultures, there's usually a God element in our culture that's been inundated with all things that aren't God, but we find the redemptive part of it. And so in the journey, you found God has redeemed some of the things about your culture. And those things have become very personal to you. And it's almost like they were lost and they're found again. And so that's that whole first part of the dream. The second part of the dream, where you're in the huge hall with all the people, there's a program about to start, and everybody in this whole place cheers you on. That's a great picture of the great cloud of witnesses, of all the people surrounding you that are excited for what you're about to be shown. That's what the program is, right? We don't know what it is, but you're about to see something that you haven't seen before. And there's people around you cheering you on. There's heavenly messengers cheering you on. There's people in your life cheering you on. There's people that have gone before you cheering you on. It's a nondescript crowd.
And you're in the front row, so you're not going to miss anything. Row,
so you're not going to miss anything. Yeah, exactly. You are rediscovering in your journey. You've rediscovered things of your culture that are beautiful, and God's about to show you something incredible. Yeah. And He's got people around you.
Out of what you discovered.
Yeah,
this is flowing out of that. That's because it sets you up for the things you have walked back and forth, losing and finding again are the very things that are now part of the celebration.
Yeah, and Christy Harvey said Seashore, transition between sea and land boundary. It's very possible that the coming and going to the seashore represents the transitions in her life. And in her journey, and there's been multiple transitions in her journey, and in those transitions, when she started to discover the things that are really important to her and her culture and her heritage. So yeah, it very well could be that, Christy.
And it wouldn't surprise me if in Manling's life that her times at the seashore have been significant moments for her, where she's encounters her self-realization, the realization of other things in the world, that going to the seashore. A lot of people don't go to one place; they go to the mountains, and everything comes together for them. Some people go to the seashore. And, it wouldn't surprise me at all, since she's back and forth at the seashore in this dream.
Yeah, Monling said, "What does the seashore mean in a dream?" It depends. Like, it is a place where
where you go.
Yeah, it could be a place where it's a peaceful, relaxing place for you. It is for me. I love the sea. I love the beach. But it also could be a transition, because it is a transition between sand and sea, between land and sea. And so there's a number of different things it could mean. And, it's one of those things that if you just let go of the seashore, it's not going to change the overall meaning of the dream. It's just going to enrich what we know about Manling's journey.
Right.
Yep.
Very true.
Very true. Okay. What else we got?
Oh, we got plenty.
Oh, the wonderful places we will go.
Give me a second here. Chris never showed up. Okay. We will put Chris on.
I haven't seen him. Oh, I was raised in a house beside the seashore, she says. Munling. Yeah.
Okay. So you have history.
Yeah. So again, representing going back to fundamental principles. the things of your childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah. And finding value in those things again. It's a whole redemptive journey that you've been on. That's what the dream shows anyway.
Oh, there it is.
He's bringing another one up, everybody. Just be patient.
I moved monitors around, and you don't ever do that before a show like this because, well, it wasn't smart. Okay, Renee, you are here, right? Yes.
She's Renee. She's like, I think she's forced. She's got to be here. She's like,
this is James Bond. We have to do a dream if it has James Bond.
Yeah, we could do a James Bond dream. That works.
We have to do a James Bond.
Just makes us like Renee even more. She's got a James Bond dream.
Exactly. Who's the best Bond, by the way?
Yeah, that's right. Comment and let us know who is the best Bond.
Yes.
Yeah, who's your favorite? Yeah, Sarah, she's amazing. She'll be here. Yeah, we know. And there we go. Hello.
Sean. Yeah, Sean's good.
Sean is good. Yeah. Who's the best Bond?
All right. She says the title of this dream is James Bond. I was at a party in a huge open-ended living room. One side of the room was open to the outside, like what you'd see in Malibu or Santa Monica. I looked outside and saw James Bond sneak up behind these bad guys and tank them out. He was all in black. Then he changed quickly and came into the party and mingled. The same scene was repeated a number of times. I was the only one who saw what was going on.
I like this dream. That's a good dream. Yes. He's the secret agent that's protecting everybody. No one else realizes what's happening in the background, but Renee realizes what's happening in the background. What's happening in the background is there's someone protecting everybody at this party.
Yeah.
And so it's a great dream. It's showing you that Renee, you recognize some of the things that are happening in the background that other people don't see. And James Bond would represent some kind of heavenly help. You know, he's
very skilled.
Very skilled. There for a reason. They're on assignment.
Right.
Some kind of heavenly help. And the fact that he kills the bad guys. Yeah. What's going on in the spirit? That's right. Yeah. Karen he's a secret agent. I want him on my side too. Yeah.
Exactly.
And so you're just watching that in the people that you are around, you're recognizing that God has been taking care of situations unbeknownst to them that is keeping others safe. You see it. They might not see it.
Okay, Christy.
Can he come fight my sharks and bears? You can always ask, just say a prayer. God, will you send James Bond into my dreams to fight my sharks and bears? Then that's the prerogative of the Father then.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's right. He had sweet moves. Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's simple. It's you've seen it happen multiple times, and it protects the people that you're doing life with.
Yeah.
This is one of those ones we've talked about, dreams where you are observing, dreams where you are, the main primary focus, and dreams where you are the participant. In this dream, you're the participant because you're with the group of people, and if you're very much impacted by the decisions James Bond makes, and because these bad guys won't get you either, and it gives you some insight into intercessory assignments that you would be praying for the things that are unseen to be taken care of. Yeah. So you're a participant, and in the sense you're both. You're a participant and an observer. You're a participant because the outcome impacts you. You're an observer because you're seeing how it impacts all the other people. So you're not the focus, and it still has something to do with you. You're not outside of the party watching it happen. You are, from what I remember, you're in the party, noticing it happening.
Noticing that
there's a difference between that.
Comes in. Yeah, and then he mingles with the party.
Yeah,
in between assignments.
Yeah.
Yes. So
that's and those are when we're talking about the position you are in a dream. an observing dream, you would be outside of the party watching it happen. And maybe I didn't say this clearly, maybe I did, but as a participant, you're in the party, mingling with the party, having things happen. So that means that it has something to do with you and your life as well, not just. So that's why I would say it's your community, the people that you do life with, right? You're having a party, you're eating, commingling, talking, that kind of stuff, as opposed to some other group that you may be praying for, God's given you an intercessory heart for. Then you're observing them because it has nothing to do with what you're involved with.
Sharks and bears.
Annette Garrison.
Yes.
We will get to your dream.
She has titled this dream, 3 weeks pregnant. I was at a camp or resort. I decided to fly around. I went way over trees and the ocean. I was exhilarated and nervous all in one. In the next scene, she's at her parents' house. She offered to carry a heavy wooden table and a chair for her aunt under her arm. Then another scene. So now we're at a third scene. Let's do this here. Okay. I'm at a gas station. It says unleaded in big letters. A lady yelled at me, "You're at the wrong pump. That's diesel." I looked again and it was unleaded. I told her I was at the right pump. Next scene. Oh, I was at a lawyer's office.
Man, this is.
Oh man, she's just seening us.
You're just seening us left and right.
Next scene, at a lawyer's office with my husband. It was a happy occasion. I was not sure what we were discussing. I realized I was 3 weeks pregnant while in the office. My husband was excited and scared about the news of the baby.
I understand that one.
Okay, so I want to say, Annette, I love how you've broken down the scenes very, very.
Yeah, very clearly. Yeah.
How
many scenes do we have? 1, 2,
4 scenes
3, 4. Yeah.
And she's got significant shifts between each dream.
Yeah, but it's
like very different from the section before.
Yeah, but it also shows a progression.
Right.
And so it's not, sometimes you have 4 scenes and they're essentially the same scene happening over and over again.
Right.
And it, in a way, the first 2 scenes and the second 2 scenes overlap each other. Yeah. But they're also separate. And because you have a similar theme where you are, in the first scene, you're entering into life of the Spirit in a tangible way. In the second scene,
right,
you're being filled for new things and to go further. So, there's an overlapping there, not exact same message, but there's an overlapping there. In the second scene, you are helping other people navigate things. Right. In the fourth scene, you are getting ready, on the process of giving birth to new things. And so there's an overlapping between those 2 things, but it's not the same thing repeated in every single scene. There's compounding factors happening from one scene to the next. So this is talking about things in your life, the progression of growth in your life, because 1, we've got flying in the Spirit, and 2, we've got being filled up with gas. So there's a maturity progression there. And first scene, becoming familiar and comfortable with spiritual things. That's scene number 1. And scene number 2 is in becoming familiar, building off scene number 1 and becoming familiar with spiritual things. You find yourself more capable of helping others. It's a heavy wooden table and a chair, and you're able to move it around for other people.
It would open you up to acts of service.
Yeah, acts of service, and probably within your local community. Your parents' house probably represents your church, giving you a heart to serve in your local church. And in scene 3, you are seeing discernment increase. So, some people are saying, "Hey, that's the wrong thing for you. That's the wrong thing to put in your vehicle. That's the wrong thing to get you going forward." And you're going, "No, actually, you're showing it's wrong to you. It's right to me, right? this is unleaded. I have the right discernment. I know this is what it is. It's not diesel. You're wrong.
And it's becoming obvious to you.
It's becoming obvious to you. The things that you need in the place the things you need are the right things, and the place you are, it's the right place. Yeah. And other people may not recognize that or understand that, but you do. And so again, that's about this growth, this progression. I'm learning to be refueled, to be filled up. That's when you're at a gas station, being refilled and fueled up with energy for the journey, or spiritual sustenance for the journey. And then the last scene, you were discussing something with the lawyer, but you're not sure what it was. So, but I mean, the main two parts, you've got a joyful occasion with a lawyer, and you've got the fact that you're 3 weeks pregnant in the office. So new things are coming, especially as it pertains to your relationship with your husband, because you're in the dream. You guys are there together. And there's probably, I would guess, in a lawyer's office, there's going to be some situation of justice or something.
Contracts, justice.
Yeah, something having to do with covenant, contract, justice. And this doesn't give us a lot of information. It just says you were there and things were progressing along with that. And that there's some new things coming in your guys' life.
So if you had to put a question to this dream, what was this? If it was answering a question, it would probably be something like, what has this last weird season in my life been all about?
Right.
And the dream says it's prepared you for the things that you're now stepping into. And it's prepared you for being so if you're in a lawyer's office, you're going to do things by the letter of the law, in one sense.
We're going to do it the right way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Could have done it the wrong way, but you're going to do it the right way.
Yeah. Annette, oh my gosh, Ken, right on. He's pretty good, that Ken guy, isn't he? Occasionally. Yeah, it's a great dream.
Even though I'm not in Florida yet, I'm okay.
Yeah.
And when we do get to Florida, we'll have to change time on this thing.
Well, we'll see what you can. You may be yawning a lot more.
I may. Because there will only be 2 hours difference between you and me at that point.
No, it's a 1 hour difference.
No, I'm over on the other side. I'm in Central Time.
All right. Oh, you're still Central Time there. If you go there, yeah. Thank you, Berta. Berta's defending me.
Berta is very kind.
She is. Yeah, that's true.
Well, Allison, you've waited. We'll give you. We'll pull your turn. Allison McDavid.
Wonderful.
All right. So let's do this. Allison says, I was talking with someone who sneezed or coughed something yellow or goldish onto a white pillow. He showed me the form of a stain that was shaped like a bald man in a hooded cape holding a staff. I was okay. That's just funny.
Is that from the sneeze? Like the sneeze created that stain? Is that
an interesting stain? That's so specific. It was a bald man in a hooded cape holding a staff.
It's like Gandalf, but with no hair.
I was being told a story about possession and something along the lines of someone being so focused on this that the government became possessed. I was then in another room in what felt like a yacht. I was watching what looked like a meeting when a dark-skinned woman suddenly stood up and walked up to the top of the steps. Once she reached the top, her hair flew back. I felt like the spirit entered her, and she turned around to walk back downstairs. That's it.
Yeah, that is it.
So let's shift that there. So we've got two scenes.
Oh yeah, because we've got a scene break there. Yeah. I'm just looking, trying to piece it together.
Of a Buddhist monk, actually, she says.
The bald man with the hooded cape. Right. Possession is in like demonic possession, I'm assuming is what you mean by that. Like
being taken over,
like
sort of
not
thing.
good, not good, not like possessions, but the evil kind of possession.
Yeah.
And so you got first part, you sneeze and see the.
No, she doesn't sneeze. She was talking to someone who sneezed.
Oh, I missed that. Talking with someone who sneezed. And he sneezed.
Yes.
And then
and out of his
what
sneeze,
came out of him was created this stain. Okay. Right. That makes sense. I zoomed in on the guy, and yes, demonic is what she assumed. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean maybe Dad, you've got some stuff too to share, but that, be careful what you're not. I don't know. I wouldn't say be careful, but you're just seeing what some people are filling themselves with.
What comes out of them?
What comes out of them? Yeah, what comes out of them.
So it's sneezing coming out of your nose, coughing coming out of your mouth.
Yeah. There's things coming out of the people around you that showing that they're not necessarily involved in really helpful things, and or healthy things. And so
the interesting thing there is that the government became possessed. I'm not sure quite what was going on there.
Yeah, well, and what came out of them was yellow, so fear as well. Yeah, so things that pertain to fear. Yeah, it doesn't come out of you; it comes out of some people that you see, and see Renee. And it looks like it's probably some kind of spiritual influence that's broader than just the individual, but impacting some of the local structures. That would be an intercession dream, and an interceding about what kind of spiritual influences are impacting the leadership structures around you, the government structures around you. Political, government would be political, of course. And I live in the same province as Allison, so
so juxtaposition of the two scenes.
Yep, you go for it.
The one, you have someone who is absorbing something not helpful,
right,
and then trying to, it thinks it's good.
Make it sound
helpful. I've got Look what this produces. Juxtaposed by the second scene, where the woman goes up the stairs. Some sort of a breeze hits her or something, and she is filled with what Allison recognizes as a spirit, and then comes back down the stairs. So you can be filled with one thing or another,
right?
And the implications are, so the first one, I've got it in me. The other one, it has to come to me.
Right.
That's in the. So this is kind of that.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah,
it's kind of a discernment dream in it, and it's. I guess if we're looking at this thing this way, it's like you would want to say, "What? How do I know? How can I tell the difference between what people are reacting to? Is it this spirit or is it that spirit?" And the answer is, some people are full of themselves, and all they give you is what's inside of them, and it's not good. Other people are filled because they do that. She walks up the steps. She has to do a journey to do this thing. So, and in both of these, Allison is kind of watching this.
Yeah, she's
participating in something, but she's watching. So it's about learning to understand the implications of what people are filled with.
Yeah. Discerning the spiritual influence.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if there was like a shark or a bear in here, we would know that too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's good.
We'd be able to discern what that was all about.
There you go. Yeah, then she could help Christy.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. We have time for one more.
Well, let's do this.
Okay.
Well, we need to here because this is just good. There are a lot of people waiting in a room.
A lot of food dreams tonight.
People in this room. The end.
Yeah, Elizabeth, are you still on? That's Elizabeth. Obviously, she was on. Let's see if she's still on.
That was just a few minutes ago. She put that up.
Okay. I like this stream. More food dreams. So yeah.
Well, we like pizza anyway. Yes, she's on.
I could eat pizza pretty much every night. Like, I wouldn't really have a problem with it.
It's true.
Yeah, my daughter is the same way. Your granddaughter. Good. Yeah, my wife is not the same way. Anyway, yes. I digress about pizza.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's people waiting to be fed, and you've got what they need.
Yep.
That's the meaning of the dream. Yeah. So you have the very thing they need to be fed.
Yeah.
You've got spiritual sustenance for them.
And it's
so Elizabeth, this is like Jesus said, feed my sheep.
Yep. There it is.
There's a call in your life to feed people the sustenance they need, especially people that are in a place of waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Josh.
Yeah. And God will, and Elizabeth, God will show you who.
Yep.
You know, it's they're waiting. She knows where to go. She's got the food. God will give you the
right place,
the
right
insight
time.
You need. Yeah. That's right.
Right food. Yep. It's good stuff.
Yep.
All right. What's coming up in Win Ministries these days?
That's an interesting question because we've had to postpone a couple different events because of COVID. So we were as of September, I was going to start traveling again. And I think I had talked about that a couple different times. And we had COVID situations, and then some further measures were put on the churches in New Brunswick that made it difficult. So I've got a couple conferences coming up. I have a plan for those of you that are out in British Columbia right now. There is a plan to be out in British Columbia in the beginning of November.
Yeah.
And a plan to be out in Calgary potentially near the end of November. But again, that kind of stuff is all contingent upon for Calgary what the restrictions are, and BC looks like it will happen. So we're kind of in a holding pattern as it relates to doing anything like that. But you know, as it relates to some of the materials that we're putting out, I'm just finishing up the next phase of our blog series on prophecy, which will be looking at the discerning prophetic words and how the early church approached things like that, and how we can principally apply those to today. And so that will be coming out soon, and we're hard at work on one or two projects that I am not at liberty yet to share publicly, but we will be sharing shortly. And this group will be one of the first groups to know. So, yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you want to pray over this gang?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Yes.
Father, I just thank you for the secrets still, Sarah. Yeah, that's right. That's secret. Yeah. Father, I just thank you for this group and these people that are passionate about growing in understanding how you speak. And specifically how you speak in these mysterious ways. So, Father, just ask that there be an increase of wisdom that would help us see the heavenly reality, what heaven is doing and how heaven is communicating. Father, we ask for prophetic revelation. We ask for faith to be stirred. We ask for miracles to be released and healing to be released too in the night season, in dreams and visions, Lord, as you can do. And so, Father, I just bless each person here to receive from you, to hear from you, to be increase in passion for you. I thank you for the journeys represented of each person, Father. And would you stir up that gift and fan into flame all that they are? And so we bless them in your name. Amen.
Amen. See you guys next week.
All right. See you next week.